So I always neglected how small wins and small tasks could actually impact my life. And as a result, when I felt like I'm not capable, or at the times where I was feeling low, I wasn't really able to get out of it as quickly as I could, because I was trying to get back to everything that I was doing at the same time. I was trying to handle everything at the same time, while those times where I was feeling down. And as a result of this, I failed, because when you're at a low point in your life, when you're not performing at the level that you used to, you're in a rut, you have gone through something that broke you, you're feeling broken. During those times, you can't really perform at the same level that you usually do. So just getting directly back into your tasks and trying to handle all of your work, all of your hobbies, and get back to your normal life is actually not really possible. Because at these times where you're feeling low, your discipline, your willpower, everything is much lower than your normal self. So if you try to just get back to everything straight up, you most likely fail and become even more depressed, because you're not going to be able to meet the standards that you hold up yourself to. And it's completely normal. So that's why in this video I wanted to talk about how you can use these small wins and small tasks to get back on track, and why you should use them. So we have mentioned why trying to get back into all of the things that we do in a small time or in one time is not possible, because your willpower, your energy, your discipline, everything is drained when you're feeling low. So what you should try to do instead, try to get some small wins. Even the smallest ones do count. Try to get some small things done and reward yourself. Actually, reward yourself for these things. You might be saying like, oh man, I'm gonna handle some small tasks and I'm gonna reward myself as well. It's not like that. The life is not that easy. I understand. I have the same mentality as well. I'm not that type of guy who tries to go easy or just rewards himself for every task that he does. But at these times when we are feeling low, it's actually necessary to do this to get back on track. Because if you do not do these things that I tell you, you're not going to be able to get back on track in the time that you need to. You will postpone the process, and in time, you will just make this feeling like a piece of shit period longer. And we don't want to do that, do we? So in order to do that, we should stack up small wins and get back on track ourselves in that way. The channel Better Ideas have put this ideology in words very well. In his videos, he mentions that getting out of these bad periods is like a progressive overload that you do on the gym. You get back on track slowly by exposing yourself to more responsibilities and more tasks as you go along the way. Not just directly jumping into all of the tasks, but just getting them wins and stacking them up slowly. Just like learning a language. You cannot just go and try to talk with a stranger directly without learning the basic grammar structures, basic words, and just general idea of how this language works. So we should get back on track slowly. Even if you can just start by taking a shower, just take a shower, wash yourself, get dressed, and start your day like that. Because some periods are so draining that we do not even want to get out of our beds. And I've been through a period like this recently. I have found out some news about my income things, and I have lost a big part of my income recently because of my stupid mistake, and that made me feel so much pain, and that made me drain so much of my energy that I didn't want to do anything. I was so depressed. I didn't want to see people. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to handle any of my tasks. I didn't want to work. I just didn't want to do anything. And at the first couple of hours when I learned about this news, I actually did that. I didn't do anything. I indulged in some bad hobbies to distract my mind because I was feeling so desperate. And when I tried to get back on track, I actually tried to go all in again, and I failed because I wasn't really capable of handling those tasks yet. I needed to start slower. So I actually postponed this process, and I was feeling bad. I was feeling so fucking bad. So I just told myself that, all right, we are in this position right now. We made a mistake. We are feeling the grief. We are feeling the desperation, but we cannot change the past. We can only control our present. So what am I going to do? I'm going to stack up some small wins. I'm going to stack up some small wins. And that day, the day that I learned these bad news, I just didn't do anything. I just tried to survive that day. Basically, it felt really bad. But in the morning, I told myself I will start slowly and go step by step and get myself back on track. So in the morning, my alarm just went on and I just didn't want to wake up at all. I didn't want to wake up at all. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I needed to go to school. I had some classes. I didn't want to attend them. I was just thinking of maybe not going to classes, just kind of sitting on the bed and doing nothing. But I just told myself, if I keep doing like this, or if I do the opposite and try to go all in, I'm not going to get out of this mental state. I'm not going to get out of it. And I just told myself, okay, bro, we will go step by step. I got out of the bed. That was the first step. And instantly, I tried to stack up the momentum. I fixed my bed, and then I directly started to get dressed. Because in these bad periods, even though you might find it a bit over-exaggerated, but it is exactly like this, you don't even want to get out of the bed and get dressed. Even that task feels like a heavy one. So that's why I'm saying we should start slow and steady. So I got up, I got dressed, I made my hair, I put on some perfume and some stuff, and I just got the momentum going from there. I just went downside. By the way, I tidied up my room a little bit before I left the room because I knew I needed to stock up some small wins in order to get back on track. So I just tried to do some small tasks here and there. I tidied up my room. I got down. I drank up a protein shake. I just kind of made a small list about what are the things that I'm planning to do for the day. I just completed some small tasks regarding the company that I work for. And then after that, when I did these things, I started feeling better. Slowly by slowly, task by task, I was feeling like I was getting back on track. Even these small tasks that I told you, like tidying up my room and doing these small things, just kind of got me back onto living. And again, when I went to school, I wasn't really like focusing too much because I was still feeling drained. But again, I told myself I will just do what I can and I will just leave when I feel like my focus is just completely drained. And I listened to some of the lectures, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I also had some small task dopamine from there. And I was just kind of stacking up these small tasks time after time during that day. And then I went to training, and after I did like 10 or 15 of these, I was actually feeling a lot better. A lot better. And a couple of days living like this, I actually got back on track. I actually started to handle more complicated tasks. I started to feel better about myself. I started to think less about the past and the mistake that I did. And I started focusing on my present and, of course, the future more. And just by stacking up these small wins, I got myself out of that situation. But instead, if I didn't do this and if I just tried to directly jump into large tasks, which I did on the first day, or if I didn't try to do anything and just lay on my bed, I would have probably extended this period to even weeks. I could have just stayed in this period for weeks. This is not a joke. So please, even if you feel like they are not important, try to stack up these small tasks, especially at the times where you're feeling down, because those small tasks will add up and save you from losing your shit for long periods of time. Because we all gonna feel desperate and we all gonna feel bad during certain periods. We are all gonna make mistakes. We are all gonna fail ourselves and feel that guilt in ourselves. Because if we are not doing these, we are probably not living a life where we are trying to improve. Because only if you do not try hard, only if you do not try to improve yourself, that you will feel comfort all of the time. And then that comfort will also become painful after some time. That's also a case. So yeah, that's why I think these small tasks, these small wins are really important in our lives. And I think we should use them to get back on momentum and just climb up from there. So please, please do not underestimate the value of small tasks. Do not. And you can comment down below what type of ruts have you been in recently, what type of failures have you been in, and how you managed to get out of it, and if you used these small tasks while you're getting out of it. And catch you on the next one.